6 days of pure magic. Human Design Rave Festival 2024.
Hello, hello. We are super happy to announce our dear guest, Karen Sherwood, in the Human Design Rave Festival 2024, live in Sofia from the 17th to the 22nd of January and online worldwide. We're opening it. Hello, hello.
Hello. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very, very excited.
Hello, Karen.
Hello, Julia. And thank you so much, Julia and Veronica, for having me here and also for the invitation. I feel very honored.
And you know what? Let us tell you something from the kitchen, because Karen almost was going to come live. But yay, it didn't happen. What to do? Life is what it is. And we see, maybe next time you want to join. Yeah. It will be amazing. So the festival is there to really make a bridge and between the original Rauru frequency and the first wave of teachers and professionals and their students and all the other human design enthusiasts, but also newbies. So we really want to do like a wide range, and it's a hybrid event online and live as well. So we reach every corner, because human design has reached every corner of the world. And also thanks a lot to the business application of human design, because it's so wide. It's not only for personal development, relationships, families, but also for your career and to find your true calling in life and to be truly successful and to be satisfied and free and surprised, at peace with what you do, right? So that's actually part of the reason why human design opened up so much to the world, is also thanks to the BG5, which is the business application of human design. Can you tell us something more about it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the business application of the human design system is taking everything that's in human design, but making it, in a sense, more palpable for the common person. So it's not quote unquote about personal transformation, although it is very transformational. It really is, how can we utilize this information in a very, very practical way, just like you were saying, Veronica, to support us in our careers, to support us in our businesses. And so really taking a look at how we can use it on the material plane to have us be, as you said, successful, have us be surprised, have us live in peace, and also be very, very successful. And one of the things I love about BG5 is that we can really take a look at not only who we are as individuals, which is really the foundation, but we can also take a look at how we operate in connection with others. So we really focus on partnerships in small groups and large groups also, which is OC16, and in understanding not only how we can support our career, but how we can work together in different ways, and understanding for ourselves personally, but also, for example, if you own a business, how each of your team members operates, so that you can communicate with them more effectively, more efficiently, that you can really get the team together working for the common good. And so that's part of what really, really excites me about BG5, is it's not only the personal element, but it is how we can operate and work together collectively. Again, how we can work in partnerships, how we can work in small groups, and how we can work in larger groups as well without losing ourselves.
And it's such a big thing.
Very practical question, actually, because I'm a graduate also of BG5 Institute, and I just started working with people, and I can tell you that it's not so easy to explain to business people the value, literally literally the value, especially those who are not into human design. So can you share maybe a little bit like a practical stories or examples how really in your practice BG5 changed these or that company's trajectory or partnerships trajectory? So literally make it like alive, yeah?
Yes, yes. So typically how I introduce it so that they can wrap their head around it and to really create that bridge is I introduce it as a personal assessment tool. In businesses, at least here in the United States, I don't know what it is in other countries, but they use assessment tools all the time, whether it be Myers-Briggs or StrengthsFinder, or there's tons and tons of personal assessment tools out there. And a lot of businesses use these personal assessments in hiring. A lot of businesses use these personal assessments in team building. So that's how I house it, is in the realm of a personal assessment tool. And oftentimes, so that makes sense to them. Because they're used to using them. But what I've also noticed is sometimes there's a little resistance. And the reason that there's a resistance is because for most assessment tools, they have to answer a bunch of questions. They're like, oh no, another assessment tool. And when I tell them that there's only three questions, there's only 3 pieces of factual data that we need, their birth date, birth time, and birth location, sometimes they're very curious. But what and sometimes they're like, is this astrology? What is this? So it can go either way. However, what I have found is that there's more and more and more an opening to it. I've done this for over a decade, and I've noticed, especially in the last few years, people are much more open to it than they ever have been before. And what I found is that there's a lot of leaders who have, in a sense, this sort of hidden mystical or spiritual leaning that they don't necessarily talk about in business, but when they find human design, it's like this perfect bridge between doing something that that really makes a difference. So I've found that most of the teams that I've worked with, and I've worked for, like, for example, with a large aerospace company, I've worked with smaller companies. When the leader is enrolled, everyone gets enrolled. I'm working with a news organization right now, and when the leader is in love with it, everybody falls in love with it. And so that is really the key. The key is if the leader, if the business owner loves what we're doing, their enthusiasm rolls over to the entire team, and everyone gets really excited because I think we're in, and one of the things we're discussing at the festival, at the Rave Festival, is really about this transition into 2027. And that's why I think there's much more of an opening to be able to do this. And again, if you have the leader on board, what I've seen and the difference that I've seen that it's made is, one, and first and foremost, is communication. People know how to communicate with their team and motivate their team in a completely different way. And that's one of the biggest things that I've seen and that I've noticed with different teams. I could go into a lot more detail, but I don't know how if that's what you were asking. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually so important that we love our job. Not only we say that if we do what we love, we don't really work, but actually, if we really think through the lens of human design, and 70% of the people being generators, we are here to work and to be satisfied and to love it. And that's why human design can be so valuable, or I would even say invaluable, in not only in personal life but career. And no matter our type, we spend a lot of time selling our free time, let's say, because isn't that what work is? To sell your free time in a way. Yeah, we spend a lot of time, at least 8 hours a day, right? And that's big part of our life. So if we're happy, then something is going right for us.
Absolutely. And I think that's why it's even more important now moving into 2027, is because I feel like the line between work and play is starting to dissolve. And like you were saying, Veronica, if we are spending so much time at work and we're not doing what we love and loving what we do, even the free time doesn't feel free, because there's always work looming in the background. And so I think as we move into 2027, this is part of what I'm going to be talking about at the festival as well, is how do you profit by being yourself? Oftentimes, the way that it has been in the era of planning is really about sacrificing yourself for the good of the tribe. It is sacrificing yourself just to make money, to survive. And then, hopefully you have time and you have resources left over that you can have fun and that you can enjoy life. But most of the time is spent working. And I think there is the major shift that's happening. I think we can't even conceptualize the shift that's happening, that it really is, the more we ourselves, the more we're aligned with who we are, we literally profit by being ourselves, doing what we love, loving what we do, doing what brings us peace, doing what brings us surprise, doing what brings us satisfaction, and ultimately doing what brings us all success. And I think that's the magic of this information. And that's also what I'm going to be talking about in this transition from the era of planning into the era of the individual. How do we work? Because I think work is going to look completely different. We can already see systems falling apart. We can already see tons of people being laid off. We can already see people are not satisfied anymore with what they're doing. They're not satisfied with this top-down structure. And we are shifting from a top-down structure to a bottom-up structure, where really management is about leading and guiding the process versus do what I say. And that's one of the things that we're also going to be doing at the festival as well. Natalie, who I've worked with since I taught my very first class. So Natalie and I have worked together for quite a while. I was hoping to do it in person with her, but I will be there online, so I can also help create the online experience with it as well. But we're going to be doing some actual experiments, both with the Pento, with the OC16, to show you, in a sense, how you can be yourself, how you can be an individual, and then what the team dynamics are all about. Now, the team dynamics can go one of two directions. Either it can condition you, which is how it's typically happened, because we haven't been aware of the dynamics. But the more you're aware of the dynamics, the more you can profit by being you. And then when you're working in small teams and large teams, you can really bring all of yourself into the team, and you can recognize what the dynamics are, and you can actually take advantage of the dynamics versus being conditioned by them. Now, yes, there is a conditioning factor there, but it's, in a sense, taking advantage of the conditioning factor because you're aware of it. And that's also part of profiting by being you, is the more you are yourself, the deeper you can connect with others, and the greater capacity we have to work together, individually, work together in partnership, in small groups and large groups, and ultimately as humanity as well.
Mhm.
Wow. And can you share a little bit of the essence of the experiment that's going to happen? So we kind of tease a little bit those who are watching.
Yes, I believe it's going to happen over several days. So we're going to set it up so that you kind of understand what the whole process is. We're going to do an actual activity, and we're in the process of designing what that activity is going to look like, where we will divide people into different teams, where we are going to take a look at how it works when you're in a team, so you can really feel what it is to do that. Natalie's also in the process of creating a huge map, just like you have the human design map that you can put on the floor. Natalie's also designing a penta, or a small group dynamic model as well, that we can put on the floor. Yep, and the penta, as well as the OC16. And so with little modules that you can move around, so you can actually physically experiment, that you can actually feel it, that you can actually see it as well. So it's going to be an amazing experiment in how these dynamics operate. So these are dynamics that happen whether we're aware of it or not. But to put it in this context is going to be so much fun, because you'll actually be able to feel and experiment and see the dynamics as we both map them out, but also as you can feel them, you can experience them, and you can see where it throws you off track, where it conditions you if it's not correct, where you can see where, oh, this is how I can take advantage of it, and this is how we can all work together for the common good. And so it's going to be really, 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 really fun. And
it's kind of fun because you actually going to make people work. Yeah. So we're going to create jobs for people in the festival. And that's really a fun.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, we want to make this as real life as possible. So there will be tasks, there will be jobs that you'll have, and you will be working on teams, so you can see how those actual dynamics operate. So it's not, so there are, I don't know if I don't know how much to reveal, so we'll keep some of it a mystery.
But
what actually, it's all about.
It's nice for people to know how we're going to build it up a little bit, because before Natalie started this experiment, Johan Nistor is going to start showing with BG5 experiments, and then we're going to build up to the bigger experiment. So it's going to be really revealing. But maybe just a few words for the newbies. BG5 stands for Business Group 5, which is the base group for group dynamics. It starts from 3 people onwards, and then when you have at least 10, it comes to OC16. And what we were talking about, the changing of the background frequency, about the cross of planning crumbling down and the sleeping phoenix coming, this is really just the background frequency, which will impact the entire world. And it is changing. It's a huge 400-year long era, and now we're coming to a new one. And if you want to find out more about that era, because we're really seeing the signs of that happening, come to the festival, because the underlying theme of the festival is 2027, the sleeping phoenix, the change of the background frequency, which will affect all of us. And we don't want to just survive it. We want to thrive through it. So you're so welcome to come, that we experiment and not only learn, but really put our fingers in it, experiment and explore what's happening, how is it happening, and how to deal with it in the best possible way and scenario for ourselves, others, and as Karen said, the entire totality. So yeah, because we're all connected at the end.
Yes. And I think this is what is really magical about the festival. Again, I wish I could, I so want to be there in person, but I'll have to settle for online. But I think this is what's magical about the festival, and what you are all putting together, is really being able to connect in person, to see how these dynamics actually operate in the physical realm, so that you can take what you learn at the festival, especially if you can be there live, but even if you can only attend via online, because we're all over the world and you may not be able to attend. I think it is such a powerful experience to connect with people that are like-minded, to connect and be able to learn from all of the instructors that are going to be teaching throughout the entire festival. I think what your team has put together is magical and amazing. And I think people are really going to miss out if they're not a part of it, because what you have put together, I think, is really, really, really special. And I think it's very needed as well, especially just as you were saying, Veronica, this is a major change that we're going through. And to be able to bring people together, to be able to experiment, to see how all of these things operate in real life, and also to know, in a sense, we're not alone, and that human design and BG5 is growing. And I really feel that BG5 and human design is the bridge to bring us from the era of the individual, the cross of the sleeping phoenix. So in BG5, we call it the era of the individual, because it really is focused on how do we operate individually as ourselves, and yet how do we connect at a deeper level, moving out of how things were organized in the era of planning into the era of the individual. So I would highly, highly recommend, if you are watching this, whether you're online or whether you're there live, this is going to be an amazing, amazing experience. And you really don't want to miss it.
Absolutely transformational. And talking about the era of the individualism, Karen, would you like to share with us about your individual process? How did you get to human design? How did it come in your life? And how did it transform you? And
yes, it has been a major journey and a major transformation. It's interesting, probably back in the, let's see, 89, I think, 89. Back in 89, I was backpacking around Europe, and I was doing a lot of soul searching and meditating. And I did a meditation, and the message that I got, I saw this diamond right here, this diamond, and then I saw it connected to the throat. And I heard a voice basically that said, find the people that know what this means. I had no idea what that was. I spent 20 years trying to figure out what that was. I did all these self-development programs. I always thought that there was something wrong with me, that I was always trying to fix myself. And I'm trying to remember what year it was, maybe 2009, I think, somewhere around there. I had an online women's small business network, and I had someone who I was one of my members of my network was putting on a training on human design. I had no idea what it was, so I did an online webinar introducing what human design was. And the first time I saw my chart, I had a diamond right here connected to the throat. I have the 1-8. I have the strength of the creative role model, and looking at that, it was like, yep. And that's when with the message of find the people that know what this means. It was, as the first time I saw my design, it was almost like I knew everything and I knew nothing. Like, it looked so familiar to me, like I knew everything, but I didn't know anything. And I've literally been studying it nonstop, looking at it every single day since that day. I absolutely fell in love with human design. I studied it for quite a while, actually, with someone that this was when Ra was still alive, and I didn't find out that Ra actually existed, believe it or not, until a month before he passed away. And then I was so bummed. I was so upset because I didn't even know that he existed, because I found out about human design from someone else. And then that's when I started studying at IHDS. And when I saw BG5, I could not do it. It was one of those things that I kept going to the website, and it's like, I don't even have the money to do it, but I have to do it. I have to do it. And so, the last day of the early registration, I finally ended up signing up for BG5 certification. and I have been doing BG5 nonstop ever since. And it was really magical how it all came together, because it was at that time, BG5 was really still a part of IHDS. And I started to train I was assisting Lynda Bunnell when she was training BG5. And I think we got to class 6 and we were taking a look at the builder, and it's like, oh, would you like to train that class? I'm like, sure. And then she had me train the next one, the next one, the next one. And then I ended up kind of redoing the curriculum and teaching the entire BG5 certification. And then from there, put together the BG5 foundation course. And from there, redesign the OC16. So taking all of Ra's material and organizing it in a way that was very structured and that it was easy to take in and learn. So like I said, I was at the very, very beginning of the BG5 Business Institute. So, yeah. So that's my that's my story, and I've been doing it nonstop ever since. Why BG5?
Why actually BG5 Institute separated from IHDS?
The reason that it's separated from IHDS is to appeal to a different audience, because the idea is to really be more business focused and take it a little bit, make it, I guess, more palpable for the common person or for businesses. So it doesn't look or seem as esoteric, that we can really utilize it more as a business tool and as a personal assessment tool. So that was the key reason for separating it, is simply that it to appeal to a different audience, to appeal to the business audience. And so if you want to appeal to a different audience, again, it has to be set up a bit different. And so that's why there was the separation between IHDS and BG5.
I have another question. I heard this a very big news last year that you got accredited with some government recognition. Would you like to share a bit of that? Because it's big news also for human design world. It's kind of a first step to be recognized on matrix level, I guess.
Yes. So you can actually earn CEU credits. CEU credits are continuing education units. And so, for example, one of the reasons why we went in that direction as well is because there are a lot of industries where you have to constantly get CEU credits every year. For example, in the United States, like there's realtors and psychologists and different professions where it is required to get CEU credits. And oftentimes businesses will pay for the training if you also get CEU credits as well. Also, military will also pay if you get CEU credits. And so we are officially accredited, so you can get credits and transcripts when you go through the BG5 Business Institute. And that was the main reason, is to get that credibility also in the business world as well, that we actually are accredited. And so we are an accredited institute.
And that really shows that the human design system given originally by Raul, who is developing, and it's alive, truly mutating with life as well. Not in the sense of creating something new, but growing on the very well laid foundation, which via experiments we can, and statistical data, we can actually keep on proving of the validity of. And this experiment that's going to happen during the festival, in a way, is also we're going to film everything, and with several cameras, and maybe we're going to be using it later to showcase because the human design system it's a new system, and it's yet to show its full potential to a wider audience. And BG5 really helps that to happen. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think Ra didn't really like the Penta and didn't really like OC16 because of the conditioning force. He was very individual. And so he trained OC16 only once. And he passed away shortly after he finished teaching OC16. I think he taught BG5 3 times. But one of the things that I love about the BG5 and OC16 is also the really being able to, as we're going to do in the festival, be able to prove its validity, to be able to see it demonstrated, to be able to feel its effects, and also to be able to take advantage of its effects. And I think that's one of the beautiful pieces about this information is, just as you were saying, Veronica, really being able to experiment with it, to really be able to see how it works in real life. And that's what I'm really excited to demonstrate along with Natalie and Iwan as well, how this all comes together, how it all works. And like you said, really lend credence and validity to what we're looking at and what we're studying and how it works.
Yeah, because it's energy, and energy is not something you can touch, but with the help of group dynamics and everything we really see in real life, when you see it happening, you cannot deny the facts. So yeah.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So,
we're really looking forward to it.
Yes, I am too. Very, very excited. And again, I feel very, very honored as well to be a part of the festival. And you and your team, all of you, have been doing an amazing job at putting this together. It's very, very exciting.
Thank you. We're really happy
thank
and
you so
enjoy
much.
it a lot as well. Meeting amazing people through the entire world really opened our eyes. How human design, again, it's proving the validity because it works everywhere in all kinds of circumstances, all kinds of areas of life, and social paradigms. And it's amazing to see it, really.
I know. And like you said, across cultures, across the entire planet. That's one of the things I love both about human design and BG5. It is international. It affects all of us. It is global. It's not just in one area or another. And the fact that you're bringing together people from all over the world is amazing. That's what I love about my classes as well, that I really get to connect with people from literally all over the planet. Which I find quite amazing, fascinating, and it's always very inspiring as well.
Yeah. Well,
any other questions?
We all have energy. Yeah, we have a lot of questions, but the time is getting short. And wow, it's beautiful, really, to see how this festival joins also so many different professionals from different fields of human design. And how this is one thing, I love to call it university, because it's indeed under one umbrella. We have absolutely different topics, but they all unify us through this. We are humans. And it's logical. It can be analyzed, it can be understood, and we can actually experience ourselves and others. And that's huge. That's really huge.
Yep, I agree.
So any last words you want to share with the people who are watching us, Karen, and about basically what we're offering them to see, and we can put this to a close. So we leave for the real festival.
Yes, you do not want to miss this. This is an incredible experience. It's put together by an incredible team, and all of meeting everyone, if you can be there in person, or meeting everyone if you can only be there online, both are going to be incredibly powerful and transformational as well. I would say I would not want to miss this myself personally. And so I really encourage each and every one of you to be here to, like I said, whether online or whether in person, it is going to be an incredible experience that you do not want to miss. So hope to see you all there.
Yay. And also with one ticket, whether it's a live ticket or for online, you get all the recordings. So you get access to an amazing amount of super incredible, precise, clean material coming from people who are really trained, some of them for years, and not only trained, but real experimenters who have been experimenting with the system and proving it with through their own lens, through their own life. Yeah, so we're really looking forward to see all of this happening into the reality.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing yourself, your story, and about human design and the festival. So we're really humbled to have you. And guys, it's something to see because it's not happening every day. So be there. You want to be there?
Exactly. And it's a great way to start off 2024.
You're invited.
2024 is going to be an amazing year. This is the way to start the new year.
Yay, we're going to celebrate together the Rave New Year 2024 on the 22nd of January. It comes at 3 o'clock and we have a lecture about the forecast exactly at 3 o'clock. So don't miss that too.
It's going to be so
17
much fun.
minutes. It's amazing. We've been counting actually precisely. We made sure that the actual forecast as a part of the festival happens on the moment when the clock is ticking. So yeah, we're really tailoring like a jewel, yeah, putting it into very, very precious.
And it's not us doing it, it's coming by itself. So that's the interesting thing, yeah. It's magical, really. The festival is already happening, guys. Like,
yes,
you don't even
exactly
know, like, the speakers and all the volunteers, and just it's a living being. So come and taste it, huh? You want?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You do not want to miss it. Be here.
Yeah. Yay. Okay. Bye, everybody. And
thanks.
See you soon.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
See you. Ciao.
Get your tickets today. See you soon.